Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices for the 9th of January, and starting with the DAX here on the daily chart. And this is pretty much the case for most of the markets that we're looking at. Probably not the MIB, but the CAC and the UK 100 and the DAX, is that we can have wave 4 moving up through here. So we've got two counts. So it's possible to have the low in place here, and in that case we'll move up higher through that. So in all of these we really want to get confirmation. So the move up here can be a corrective rally as an A, B and C, and we'll look at that. We're just about at the top of that now. But also too, I'm happy to turn bullish on this if we've got this wave 4 in place here, but I would like to see us above the resistance. So there's a few main resistance, 11,000. You can see that the market's been sitting here on 11,000. So we definitely need that as support. And in that terms of support, we'll see the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a corrective pattern here, and then we'll be moving up there further. So this would be our entry point at this stage, and would be clear of this ABC rally in that case, okay? But in the meantime, we just really got to accommodate both counts, and also too we need to we've got the US in a possible wave 4 as well, so at its top here as well. So let's just go into this a little bit closer. So with the sort of futures market and CFD market that these are all based on here, and the cash market, they're all based on those, well, the futures and the cash market, the physical market. So as I mentioned before, on the off hours, we ended up with this sort of 3-wave move here, but in the physical market, the cash market, we just ended up with one straight move up here. So in this case, I've taken this as the A wave based off the cash market, and a B wave here based off the cash market. So we'll leave it like this for the time being, but it's okay to have this A wave sitting on top over here as well. I think that what we've got here is that in whichever, it's possible to have a top in here, but when I look at the CAC, there's another move that can possibly come into here and then down from here. But either way, as I mentioned, we know that the 11,000 here has that really nice, resource support and resistance in here. So we would really want to wait for that to play out as a nice support here. So it would react once it arrives here, but then pushing up here, and it can fail from this and it can just continue to come down from here, but the norm is that it will have some type of correction across here and then move up, and we can look to go long at that point. That would be safer. This is for people that want to catch the trend, obviously, because the money's in the trend, rather than scalping intraday with the brokeraging companies clipping your ticket. It's quite difficult to get in there at a point and two and duck and dive in a lot of cases. So yeah, just on the hourly chart for this here, you may have long trades in here at the moment, so putting the stop up into this space and you could put it up here if you really wanted to run a tight ship here, but it's possible for this to, it's difficult for me to work out if I got 5 waves in this little structure here. When I look at the, if I can just bring the CAC across here for a moment and look at that, when I bring the CAC across here, I can see that from this low we've got 1 and 2, a nice 3rd wave here, so we'll be looking for a 4th and then a 5th wave here. So it'll be the same deal for the CAC as it is for the DAX at 11,000, but in this case we'll be at 4,800 here. So it doesn't look like we've got this one more move in through here. So we wouldn't turn bearish in this here until, if this low here got breached, then we can go short from that point. But yeah, and we expect it to react from number 8. We always consider 8 a profit taking number, but there's possible one more little move in that space there. So here it's a little bit a little bit tricky. So in this case, maybe wave 1 to here and 2 to here and 3 to here and 4 to here and then 5 up here. I'm not quite sure. It's just not playing out very nicely, but the CAC is doing a better job of that and moving across. So I don't really have a lot of answers today or trade setups in this instance, and the FTSE is the same as well. It's possible to count this down as an A and a B, and then 5 waves down here, another 5 here for waves 5 of C or 4 here, but it's also possible to have it as wave 3 here. So then that would make that wave 2 up here. So this rally here is kind of important as well. And obviously the resistance in this case is 7,000 here. So getting back on support this time after next time around would be the key to taking us higher at that stage. So in this case here, we've got the same scenario in here. So I've just lined it up with the cash market as the A wave here and the B wave here. But I mean, in the reality, in a bull market, we can call this up for 1 and back for 2, up for 1, ABC back for 2 here as well. So I'm aware of that. So I need to we just need to be mindful. There's 2 ways of looking at this here. But this is what I'm more interested in up here, is this run here in 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here. Once again, we can go 1 and 2 and 3 here, and we can look at this as being a little 4th wave and a 5th wave to come into play here to finish that off. And then turn from there. So it may not make 7,000, but it doesn't matter. We need this little 5 waves here to complete, and once it's completed, then we can understand if we're looking at a bigger picture at that stage. So if wherever that top comes in, if that top comes in, then we can start to go long, look to build in at that stage. I mean, if we get a little 5 waves finishes up here, if that finishes nicely, and then we see an A and a B and a C here, as such, then we may be able to work our way in through this side over here in a small position. But we wouldn't build up bigger trades on this market unless we were sitting on top of the 7,000 here as a nice support. So yeah, it's pretty much sort of it really. And we'll have a quick look at Italy here, which is in which looks more bullish in this case. So just the daily chart here. From wave 4 here, it doesn't finish very nicely in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but that's how it is on the other indices. So I need to sort of work and move with that really. So in the 4-hour chart here, looking at this to the upside here, I've got this more of in a bullish case here. Okay, so in the bullish scenario here, we would look at this as wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2, and then 1 and 2 here all the way up for the 3rd wave, a 4th wave and a 5th wave to make the 3rd, then a 4th and then a 5th here. So would be back up at the 20,000. So basically this market is retesting the 20,000 here. So yeah, this is the bullish pattern if this plays out like this here. Where it becomes the most interesting is if we do get these 5 waves up here, and then we get the ABC here, it would be the line across here to build in the first trade here, and then obviously building in here, and building in all through the levels, all through group 1 here. So that's where the real trade would come in, the real trend. That's where the money is. So let's just see how we get through all of this first with all of these indices. So that's it for today. And also too, I think it's worth having a look at the S&P 500 video as well. So because obviously that's going to be, pulling the smaller markets around somewhat. And we're looking for a bit of a top there as well. So we'll know in a couple of sessions where we are with this. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.